Everybody, it's Kara. I'm getting ready to get started on my first altered book project, and I thought that I would kind of show you guys what I did all the way throughout the process, with hopefully the last video being the finished altered book. So I'm not exactly sure yet how many videos this would be, but I thought we would get started with how I picked the book I'm using and how I'm prepping the book before I do anything, too terribly crafty to it. So, and also I'm probably not going to post these until this book has been given as the gift it's intended, which is a baby boy book, a little first book of first smile, first everything kind of thing is what I'm thinking I'm going to make it into. I have a girlfriend who is getting ready to have her third little boy at the beginning of August, and I wanted to make her something special. And I thought I would kind of alter a book for her to use as a baby book. So I found this one, and it's the size I wanted. It's not huge. It's about little over 5 inches, about 5 1/8 by about 7.5 inches. So she'd still be able to do some decent sized pictures in here. And I wanted it to, not be too big and cumbersome because, she's going to have 3 little kids to be dealing with, and I wanted her to have something that if she wanted to just take it with her and jot a quick little note about baby's first, let's say, doctor's visit, she could stick it in her purse and do that. So that's why I was looking for kind of a smaller sized book. This particular book I absolutely loved it when I found it because the cover's perfect. I did get 2 of them. They're not the exact same book because unfortunately they didn't have 2 of these at the used bookstore that I went to. But this is kind of my backup. Even though it doesn't have the same story or, cover page, it still has that same little boy on it. And if I have to, I'll work with it. I kind of always like to have a backup when I'm doing something brand new. So I'm hoping this one works out because I love the cover of it. I love the title, When We Were Very Young. And I really love different little pieces of it because it's got some great little illustrations in it, about little boys and all sorts of goodness. One of the things I also really, really like is this first little page here, which I left when I prepped it, and it says, "Just before we begin." And I thought how cute it would be to have a picture of my friend and her husband, maybe when she's, almost ready to go to the hospital, about 9 months pregnant, on the front here, so he could see where mom and dad were, what they look like, right before he was born. So I just thought that was really cute, and I'm hoping that I don't mess this book up. I'm really a little nervous about it, but I did get started. I did already prep it. I basically looked for a book that had a good cover intact. These 2 books did have a few pages that were, a little ripped. Nothing major. Someone else could have taken it and read it and not been a problem, but I decided I would use them and alter them up, and they didn't cost too terribly much. I also wanted books where the spine, which hopefully I'll zoom in and you can see this. See how there are signatures in here, and a signature being the different little sections of the book that are folded together with the story on them and then sewn. So there looks to be, and again, I'm not looking straight at it, I'm looking through my camera, about 4 signatures. And you'll also notice that this back of the signatures is not attached to this back binding. That's going to make it easier for me to thin the pages. And you want to thin the pages, let me get the zoom back. You want to thin the pages because you're putting other things back into the book, and if you don't thin it out, then all of the paper and any embellishments you add are just going to make this book get bigger and bigger and bigger, until it's going to be this huge kind of just difficult to maneuver thing, and that's not what I want. I want something that's going to stay about the same width as this. I'm only planning on putting in paper and mostly flat embellishments, stickers and things like that. That's my plan right now. So I knew I needed to thin it out, and you can see I've only taken a couple pages out of this one so far. This is the one that I've really thinned out. I've probably taken out of this one about half of the pages, about 50. And I may end up taking out a few more because like I said, this is probably going to be a book of babies first, or I'm going to do a January through December thing. I haven't decided. Or I guess in this baby's case, August through July if I do it that way. So anyway, I knew I needed to thin these pages. That's why I was looking for books that had signatures. And you can see in this one, luckily there's a red piece of thread in here, but that's where one of the places where the signature is sewn together, right in there. And in here, I'm sorry, up here as well. I guess it would help if I turned it. This is cream colored thread, so you're not going to see it, but I can see it from where I'm looking at it. And then also, when you look down here, this is another time to zoom, sorry guys. Okay, so there was that thread, right? If you're looking at the pages, you can see when you very gently pull them up. Okay. There we go. See? That's one solid page. So if I take out both of these, I've taken out two. So that applies to all the ones after it. So if I take out this page right here, the one that it's connected to will come out as well. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Hopefully this will be a little bit more understandable when I do it. I'm not going to take out the very middle one because I want you to see. So there's that again. See that red thread? That's the middle of one of my signatures. So I'm going to go over to the side of it. I'm going to take out this page and I'm going to use my X-Acto knife, straight edge, whatever you use. Use a light touch when you do this because you don't want to cut that thread. You just want to cut the paper. So I start off very lightly, as close to the edge as I can. And again, I'm only holding up the one that I want to get rid of. And I may take 2 or 3 swipes with the X-Acto knife. I'm just kind of seeing how it's going to come up. And hopefully it will cooperate since I'm doing this on film. Let's see. That's squirt yet enough. Almost. We're almost there. Okay, so there's one, and you can see it's got a pretty clean edge to it. Then, if you go to the other side, to the page that should be the one that connects to it, it should be easy to just kind of shimmy it out. And there you go, because you already cut on the one side. And then if you have any little miscellaneous papers left behind, that's what I use the tweezers for. And I just, you know, very gently clean them out so that it's got, you know, a nice little edge to it. And then you just do as many as you want. I did look as I went through to kind of, you know, if I cut this one out, what's the corresponding page? Because there were some illustrations I liked more than others, so I did look at that. And of course, all of the pages that I thin out, I keep for other projects. These will be good for art journaling, junk journals, all sorts of fun things. And so like I said, you can see there's a big difference between the two. And I may thin this one out a little bit more, we'll see. So anyway, that's all I do for prepping the book. I just have the book itself, I have an X-Acto knife, and I have my tweezers. And now this book is pretty much ready to go. I just have to get brave enough to start doing the pages, get my final plan on what it's going to be for sure, and get going. And when I do that, I will film the next video so that you guys will be able to see the whole process when it's all done. If you have any questions on this particular part, let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Leave them down below, of course. And I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you're at. And thanks for watching. Bye.